All right, to watch this video for Tuesday, February 27th, just reminding you guys, free webinar this Thursday. There'll be a link to register for it down in the description to this video. And if you look at all the links in the description of the video, there's a couple special offers in there for the chat and for our course. But there's also a link to all of our free webinars. And some of them are pretty darn relevant to the action going on right now and some of the things you see. So if you have some time, click on that and check them out. This Thursday, speaking of free webinars, is our next one. And it's also, you notice right here, BYOB. After the market action, things are really, really slow right now. In other words, there's not a lot of follow through on breakouts. And even though you're going to see how strong the market is, basically, there's still not a lot of great intraday action. Finding a couple decent setups, but overall, I'm doing a lot of sitting and watching because it's, even though the SPY looks great, the action's not that great, but I'm starting to see things turn around. I'm starting to see some signs that we're going to get some really nice individual trades coming up again. So I'm looking forward to that, and I'm very optimistic. So show up Thursday, get registered in the link below. It's going to be the 40 things you'll never hear us say about day trading, and it's going to be a lot of education involved, but also going to have some drinks, and we're going to have some fun too. So we're thinking education and some laughter. So get registered. Looking forward to it. Look at the SPY here. I mean, after this bounce off the 200-day, really nice 4 or 5, 6 day rally, something like that. Looked like we were rolling over, and now we're back up really above almost everything. After, you know, the unwinding of the short volatility ETFs. I call them CTIs for crappy trading instruments. So what a rebound. You know, the economy's looking good. So again, I'm starting to see some, I think there's just been some uncertainty, and no one really knew what to think everyone kind of expected this bounce, but then we all thought, all right, we're going to roll back over now. People are scared to get involved still. And we've almost completely unwound the volatility unwind. So that's pretty impressive. And I've been saying for a while that the underlying strength in this market has been impressing me. So what am I going to watch tomorrow? WKHS was on watch for today. No trades in it, no setups in it, but it's still interesting, right? You had the gap up on news with building electric vehicles for UPS. That's a big headline. The high was 331 on that day. Put in a lower high, and then today, you know, kind of a quiet day, but it looks good over today's high, over 325. That might be enough to get it through that 331 and then maybe break out. So decent setup here. Be careful. It's kind of a tricky trader. BKD kind of have almost two equal tops here. If this can get over this 2-day high, I think we might get a decent upside move, assuming it's done going down. Again, remember, I only take trades if I get a proper intraday setup. OPGN, a little extra volume today. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. So nice support below, and then trying to break out of this week-long range here. And it looks like, I don't know if it had after-hours news, but it looks like it's even higher in after-hours, somewhere around 242 in after-hours. So there's certainly one to watch tomorrow. And you'll see in a little bit, some of the low floaters went crazy today. That's why I'm optimistic about some trades going forward. All right, AKER. I traded this once today, and I kept saying if this holds up, it's going to be kind of a handsome daily chart. So back here, you had this spike to 64 cents. Right here on big volume, you had a spike to 63 cents. Then you put in a lower high to 59.5. We're going to round that up to 60. Today, it hit basically 59 cents. So I really like this over 60 cents. That might be enough to push it through this big volume day's high. And then who knows, maybe we're headed to the 200 day up there at 82 cents. So really like the chart setup here. We're going to watch AKER tomorrow. TTPH, really big move today. I mean, had this gap down and then just sideways for about 6-7 days. And today just rips. It's kind of already up into the gap. So just going to see if we get a follow-through day in that one tomorrow. Again, only with a proper intraday setup. NTRI. The daily on this one is already kind of ugly. And then in after hours, this thing went down below 30 bucks. It actually is trading right now. After hours, I think is closed. I'm not sure. It's getting kind of late here. Closed around 29 bucks in after hours. So that's way down there. Let me pan way out. So set to open, and it did have like resistance back here at 30. It hung out right around 30 for almost a month. And now we're gapping down to that area. So this one might be a gap and then run up all day. I didn't read their earnings report, but that gap down is worth watching. All right, ACHN. Nice. Let me zoom in a little bit now. Nice volume today. Kind of a breakout over this 320 area that I hit here and here. Strong day today, so we'll see if we can get a follow-through day in that one tomorrow. ZSAN is the low floater I was alluding to a little bit ago. And this thing went nuts. It went from basically 450 to 11 bucks on an intraday basis before settling in at 768. See, it did a reverse split back here, so it's probably got a tiny float. I don't know what the float is, but this one closing kind of right in the middle of its range. I don't love it, and it's nasty spready, so I'm not really marrying the idea of trading this one. And I'm looking at this and thinking to myself, I probably won't trade it, but I'm going to have it on a chart. And if it goes crazy again or catches a bid and works its way back up, back through 10 or something, you might see a segue, as we did this afternoon, into some of the other low floaters. And that's how markets change, and that's how stuff that isn't working starts working again. Takes one or two stocks like a ZSAN to hand it to the shorts. I would have felt better, actually, if this had closed at the highs and then gapped up tomorrow. But anyway, to hand it to the shorts, and then they start getting a little more nervous on the next runner, and that's how the market ebbs and flows, if you will. And so I make my living basically messing with trading the low float, low price stocks. Having said that, I actually one of my trades today was an SRCL over like 61.20, I think, and it went to 61.91. I didn't trade it well, but I was green in it. But my point is, I do trade anything that, to me, that makes a decent, forms a decent setup. So anyway, having said that, let's see, ZSA, and I'll go back to that chart. Probably won't trade this one, but I'm optimistic that maybe some of the smaller priced stocks are going to get going again. DPW, nothing really pretty here, but in after hours it popped up a bit to 184 is where it ended up. So let's go to 15s. So if it opens somewhere around there, that's kind of a decent gap up. So maybe these little old baby cryptos, if you will get going. I don't know what popped it. And by the morning, it might be gapping down or it might be gapping up more, but we're certainly going to watch it. This MySize, MYSZ, had a really nice run from $1.20 to $2.20. Then it reversed intraday and ended up red that day and then red the next day. But I like this, partial retracement. Certainly going to watch that for a turn back up tomorrow, right there around the 8-day. Lastly, OREX, another one that had a really nice 2 or 3 day run, right, from 80 cents to $1.60. So basically doubled in 3 days. A couple days lower on declining volume. We'll look for that one to turn back up too. And we're going to add some gappers in the pre-market to this list. So I'm going to leave it at that. Again, check the links in the description of this video for links to our free content, links to some special offers, and links to get registered for this Thursday's free webinar. All right, have a great night. We'll see everybody tomorrow.